Hi, everybody. I'm back. I decided that we're going to be doing what we do best, and that is life coaching, wellness coaching, and sticking to the script. And the reason why I decided to start out on a positive note is because I had to get my feet wet today. I had to figure out how I'm going to be doing things going forward. And as a life coach, wellness coach, business coach, I figured the best way to do it is dive in, get your feet wet, get back into the game, figure out what you're doing. And also, I want to make sure everybody understood that my modus operandi is to be positive, happy, and, giving myself time away from social media. It was a good thing. Also a bad thing. I went through a lot of things. But the silver lining to all of this is I took the time to regroup, and I said, stick to the script, CICI. Do the best that you could possibly do. So I took the time to regroup and get myself where I wanted to be at. And however, it's just good to come back for a little millisecond just to get myself back into the mode of being a life coach, a wellness coach, and focusing on just the content. I told you guys earlier today, we had a brief overview of everything. We're not going to rehash that. I want to make sure that we take a millisecond to understand the check down and check in with you all. And also for you guys to understand the monthly introduction and curriculum overview was for you guys to understand the modus operandi going forward, as well as with the hostess with the mostest, your life coach, as well as your local YouTuber, Facebooker, and also a level of Twitcher and Clubhouser. I want you guys to understand it's important with your host, Talk Radio, DIVA, I am CICI. So I want to make sure that as we check in, we understand the first and foremost thing is we're all going to have challenges. A lot of things come up in life, but what we do going forward sets the tone. So I wanted to set the tone of positive thinking, and also naturally with some people, they are more positive than negative. And sometimes we have life situations and circumstances that create negativity. I decided not to focus on the negativity. I figured I would not sweat the small stuff. And I figured the best we can do in encountering challenges or negative thoughts is to counteract that, being mindful and being present and learning how to ascend. And ascension also means a level of modus operandi. That means in a safe mode, happy mode, and a level of getting peace by any means necessary. And if you're looking to change your ways and become more positive minded as a person, mindfulness and being present training in this mindfulness series will help you guys understand that. And you're in luck as well, because I've had to walk the talk the talk as a life coach, wellness coach, business coach, and as well as a divorce coach and relationship counselor. And as you guys know, that my life has been ups and downs, but oh well, we can't worry about all that. We're going to move on. And we're going to learn the positive and reinforcement, and also removing negative reinforcement, learning the importance of positive thoughts and why we should never let negativity get the best of us. Because one of my favorite songs from back in the day is You Can't Get the Best of Me. And I used to wonder about that song, and I was like, I wonder why she's singing this song. And it's just like Lady Sings the Blues. Sometimes we get to that moment where it's just an awkward moment. In all of that, we learn our modus operandi to go to our original illuminated self, because sometimes that's our safe zone. And sometimes we've been taken out of our safe zone. We've taken out of our comfort zone. And sometimes reality is that failure is necessary in order for us to grow and elevate, motivate, and move past things. So I figured in today's Getting My Feet Wet, I was like, you know what? I don't want to go back to my norm. My norm was being uncomfortable, being angry about it, and ruminating about things. And I said, you know what? I don't want that to be my modus operandi any further. So And reestablishing myself on social media is going to be an uphill battle, but it's worth it because I feel like sticking to the script, sticking to the content, and doing the best I can with what I can. I do approach emotions with a different mindset now. I do approach how I speak and how I respond with a different modality, and as well as we will probably end up living a mediocre life if we still have the same reaction or same level of feelings towards things. So I wanted to get the last little tidbit of, upset and animosity out of my system so I can move on. And I decided a lot of things are for a greater betterment for myself to grow, illuminate, and become luminous. And of all that, I had to acknowledge the things that were still kind of sitting on my soul and on my soul making me upset. So I said to myself, take those 2 intros and those 2 times to get your feet wet, getting back on social media. Don't let it be something that you repeat. So I said to myself, you know what? That's the best thing for me. Because for me, everything that I spoke of is now irrelevant. That is in the past and hopefully buried somewhere where I don't have to be bothered with it any further. I figured out what's important for me is to coach and coach fully and being present with you all. Part of that is sticking to the script, and also part of the script and the prescription for me is to stay positive, to stay emotionally happy or in a good place. And I want to teach you guys that in overcoming obstacles. So in all of that, you're never going to amount to anything in life if you continue to stay negative or have people who are negative or create negativity around you. So therefore, I decided to get up from a table that no longer serves respect and only serves disrespect or does things that trigger or traumatize or re-trigger or resurface a level of trauma or PTSD that I'm overcoming and working through. And with all of that, as a life coach and a wellness coach, I want everybody who has been through some type of life-changing, life-altering situation to realize it's not going to be a perfect thing. It's not going to be like the dog with a perfect circle around the milk bone and understanding how to get past it if you don't like something. It's not that easy. You can't go like the dog does and then turn his butt up to it and be like, okay, lady, you tried it. You know, you like my gourmet food that you make for me. Where's it at, lady? You tried it, So... I have a spoiled chihuahua. So with that being said, my spoiled chihuahua taught me about the finer things in life because I spoiled him. I don't want to get so spoiled with life that I don't realize that there are a lot of hardships, obstacles that are going to happen. I don't want negativity to get the best of me. So I decided I don't get the perfect circle on my rear end and show my rear end and say at everything. I just have to learn how to muddle through it, walk through it, soldier on, and keep going, right? So part of that in soldiering on and doing the best that I can and as you guys saw in the beginning, I had to drop a bomb on my life and say to myself, what do I want to do? Do I want to survive? Or do I want to just let everything just blow me to smithereens? So I chose to soldier on. And of all of that, I had to get into meditation, mindfulness, and realizing I am safe. I had to go back to my inner child. So what we're going to do is we're going to start in a place of meditation so that we can get there from here, and we're going to get straight into the content after that. So let me go ahead and get that set for you guys.
If we don't feel safe, it is very hard to change. If we don't trust ourselves or our environment, then we are in survival mode, and there is no energy for change or unfoldment. When we fear our surroundings, others, or ourselves, we continue to react from subconscious programs of lack and limitation that were built from an ego perspective in order to keep us safe. Flowing and thriving in life comes from an open heart, a relaxed mind, a state of trust. When there is a deep undercurrent that it is safe for you to simply be yourself and who you are is acceptable and lovable, Transformation takes care of itself.
So I want you guys to understand why we're doing this. Part of this is the transformation is to become better and greater. Part of our transformation is to do better, be better, and elevate. So in of all of that, I want you guys to understand that part before we get into the I am abundance mindset and also the meditation. Because part of that, knowing your safe place and being safe and saying, I am safe, I am somebody, I am capable, I am overcoming, it helps us to do that. So with that being said, I wanted to make sure that we don't have any issues and problems when it comes down to a level of being safe. Part of being psychologically safe is making sure that we remove unsafe individuals or those that become present in our life, and especially those that saboteur and provocateur. Also, when I tell you guys the similarities in life, is also ignoring those that sabotage and provoke or gaslight. Also, some of those things are also in business, finance, and also on platforms. The Russian troll farm and bot farm, I will be taking Twitter support, Facebook support, and as well as YouTube support. Any more of these obnoxious troll farms and bot farms that are happening because of several individuals, I will be civilly criminally suing them. Do not send another troll farm, bot farm at me any further than what's going on. I will be calling YouTube tomorrow to have that conversation to remove each person who's doing it, and it includes the ones that are controlling the bot farm, control farm, and having their accounts removed off of the platform because their obnoxious behavior is happening not only to me and other people, but I want you guys to understand in of all these presentations, I'm not putting up with it. And I know who's doing it. And at this point, I will have their channels yanked. I don't care how many followers you have. You've done this one too many times and you're targeting abuse and provoking and gaslighting. Enough is enough. And you've done this one too many times and I already knew you guys were going to do it again. So I'll be criminally suing them. And I will also be suing the platform because I've asked them to quit and get control of it. And if they don't, then I will sue them for money because I'm not going to put up with the disturbances and the constant issues that they're doing. It is my FedEx's mother and also her homeboy who are controlling that bot farm and troll farm. It is also my FedEx's father who has connections with YouTube, and I'll be civilly criminally suing him and them. I'm not going to put up with this anymore. This is a final warning to not keep coming back here with BS. So I quietly removed that and whatnot so that I don't have to keep putting up with this. And the wealthy, well-connected billionaire who keeps this up will be getting a civil and criminal indictment, and he will be sued for billions because I'm not going to put up with his obnoxious BS as well. And the wealthy, well-connected almost billionaire that I addressed, they are now considered irrelevant. That's why their names are not coming up in this presentation. But I will civilly criminally sue also my other ex who has an IT background. I'm fed up with his obnoxious antics as well, and he will be sued for every year that he's caused and created distraction and disturbance. And I mean what I say. So, as I said, we're going to stay in that safe zone, and I want to continue on with the presentation and also making sure we do everything possible to have a good day and presentation. So part of that is also ignoring and not sweating the small stuff or the saboteur and provocateur. So we're going to learn how to stay safe.
If we don't feel safe, it is very hard to change. If we don't trust ourselves or our environment, then we are in survival mode, and there is no energy for change or unfoldment. When we fear our surroundings, others, or ourselves, we continue to react from subconscious programs of lack and limitation that were built from an ego perspective in order to keep us safe. Flowing and thriving in life comes from an open heart, a relaxed mind, a state of trust. When there is a deep undercurrent that it is safe for you to simply be yourself and who you are is acceptable and lovable, transformation takes care of itself.
So, with that being said, we're going to transform, ascend, and positive thinking and being mindful and being present. Part of that was to let you guys hear that part and then going into the meditation part. So we're going to go ahead and transition. Okay? So, let's go there.
Finding a comfortable position, allowing these words of newness and clarity to resonate in your body and radiate out into your field. These affirmations, if used consistently, will change the frequency of your vibration and your subconscious programming, adjusting your point of attraction and transforming your life. Repeat these words after me, making them your own, as you drift through the different brainwave states, falling into a deep and revitalizing sleep. You can also listen to these affirmations during the day, allowing them to raise your vibration. Many blessings to you, my friends. I am new. In this moment, everything is new. I have new eyes to see my life, new feelings to experience the world. My life is new. Everything about this exact moment is fresh, clear, and new. I meet this moment new in being. I am in awe of this unique happening. Never again will this exact moment exist. It is a profound and miraculous adventure. I am new. All mind stuff is dropped. All thoughts are gone. And I experience this moment, present and aware. I can see so clearly now that which was hidden before. I see more beauty than ever before. I feel fresh and clean in this moment. Like life has showered me in its loving lineament. Like all that which has gone before has nothing on what exists right now.
Okay. So I want you guys to get into that mode that we're relaxed. And part of being in a relaxed state allows us to ascend and transcend, overcoming our doubts, our negative thinking, or negative responses. The power of positive thinking is astonishing. I feel like the powerful habits that we begin to develop allows us to grow, become a positive person, and also surround ourselves with positive people. Part of that is a little humor goes a long way. Striving for excellence is not always the modality in the beginning, but eventually we'll begin to piss excellence. And of all that, positivity is contagious, okay? In a good way, not a bad way, all right? We have to learn a level of getting ready to start using the astonishing power of positive thinking, growing and glowing, and becoming, transcending into who we're supposed to be, not who we post to be. And as I told you guys, positive thinking doesn't always come naturally, especially, in fact, most of us, the first thing that probably pops into our head is a negative thought. That is because we're trained to that as we grow and as we learn and get away from our normal illuminated one. But as you discover when you get a little older, you become a person who wants to go back to one, meaning Christos illuminated luminous one or illuminated one. That is what we are when we're first born. Here's the thing. As we grow and as we go through life, we learn different things. And as we transition to adolescence, young adults, and become a, certified, I'm a big boy now. It goes into a level of we learn that it breaks our heart, it breaks our mind, and sometimes our spirit. So sometimes we have to get to that place that we have to pull ourselves out of that mode. We have to stick to the script. We have to get to a place that we understand it's time to transcend, it's trying to ascend and elevate and illuminate and become more luminous. So I decided to go into this with a level of I am safe. Even if you're not in a safe environment, or if you're in a poisonous, harmful environment, or a calculated, deliberate, distracting environment, go past it, move past it, and soldier on. Find a place where you think like a seal, act like a seal, and you illuminate like a seal. You have to ask yourself, what do I need? What do I want? Do I want to shut the door on certain things, or do I want to move forward? Do I want to not let people rain on my parade? Do I want to start ringing that doorbell of life? Do I want to get to a place where I say to myself, what I need is I've got to be better, feel better, look better, talk better, and be better. Part of that is also pulling into that driveway called life. And as we look at our life and as things happen to us, we begin to sit there and think about all the different things that are necessary, right? So in all this, I want you guys to start writing things down. I want us to start understanding all of that. I want us to start looking through all the different things and begin to write it out and dial in. Dial into our positive, astonishing ways of thinking, mindful, being present, and also becoming more luminous doing so. Because a lot of that is shutting the door on the past. So in all of that, we have to say to ourselves, I am willing, I am capable, I can do this. So in all of that, we like to blame people for things that go wrong in our life, but taking accountability and taking the bull by the horns and saying to ourselves, this is not what I want. This is not who I want to be. I am not my past. I am my future. I am my present. I am somebody. I am capable. So in all of that, I had to pull myself up by the bootstraps. I had to say to myself, what I want is something better. What I want is to be able to live better, do better, and be better. And part of that is establishing the boundaries and also establishing what I want out of life. So part of that is saying, CICI, you can do better. I can do better. You want to be able to say to yourself, I am capable of moving past what's stopping me. You have to say to yourself, I am unstoppable. So basically, we don't want to pull everyone down with ourselves, especially when we're down in the dumps or feeling negative or having negative energy. So we've learned to observe and look at people and say to ourselves, I don't want to be around people who ooze negative energy or create or cause it. So in my mindset, when I left everything where it was at and the other two presentations, part of it is to start over my presentations, enjoying myself while I'm doing this and sticking to the script and sticking to the subject matter and forgetting and not sweating the small stuff. And I don't want to be the one of them. I want to be happy, and I want to be happy-go-lucky in what I love doing. Part of that is being able to out of sight, out of mind, and remembering who I am and who that I am. So if you're looking to change your ways and become a more positive-minded person, then you're in luck with the right person. I learned how to think positive in a negative situation, in a negative environment, and I want to guide you guys along the way. So let's get into mindfulness and being present. What is that? Good question. So let's get there. Part of that is having good communication with the self and going back to one and feeling safe. So I want you guys to understand where that's important. Practicing mindfulness is something that's been done since the 80s and in the early 1990s until the late 1998 and whatnot. I've learned that experimenting with mindfulness and being present is a good way to help study the self and illuminate the self, and also the power of mindfulness and meditation to transform the self and transcend and ascend. It's a state of mind both during and after meditation and learning those techniques and the paradigms of coaching. I've learned that teaching mindfulness is a practice and it's something you get better with over time. But I want you guys to understand that being taught mindfulness and being a student of mindfulness and being present also helped me with my hardships and obstacles that I've been going through. I want you guys to understand the integrated levels of meditation and mindfulness is what helped me get to this place of calm. Taking time off for a month or so, being MIA, handling my business, and dealing with things that were happening, including the roof caving in, also helped me to learn mindfulness, even when everything is falling apart, including this house. As you can see, it's not a laughing matter, but I figured I'd give us a good laugh at my expense. So in of all of that, I figured we'd keep a positive note, even though things did fall apart, hands on your knees. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? So all of this had made me put things in protect and a level of protecting the self, protecting my mentality and emotional self, and also reminding myself I am safe. So in of all of that, I want to introduce that level of meditation, and we're going to go back to it before we leave out of here. But I wanted to make sure that the presentation was good, it's clear cut, concise about a level of mindfulness and positive thinking, so we can go into the teaching and stick to the script. But make sure you guys all understand everything. So I want this presentation to be fairly good, professional, and on point. So in the profession of mindfulness and teaching it to the general public, it is something not easy to do because even when you're going through chaos and disorder in your own life, you have to learn how to move forward, soldier on, and do the best you can. So I'm showing you that in the level of hardship that I've gone through. And it's like 91 degrees indoors, but that's okay. At least I can breathe better, feel better, and I'm getting fresh air. So that's part of the good part. And also being grateful that I have a roof over my head still. I could have whined about everything and gone into a level of crying like a little girl and a little baby and being angry and upset every day, all day. But I found that's not helping me. It's not helping my heart. And I don't want to sound like a whiny brat. Because see, babies can't help themselves. They need protection. They need to be looked after. They need to be nurtured. So do adults. But I want you guys to understand you can't always cry about it. Sometimes you have to get to a place and say, you know what? It's going to be okay. I'll get to where I need to be at, take baby steps, and do the best I can. Also, the call-in live number that you can leave a message is 319-527-6060, and you may log on to talkradiodiva.com during the live presentations, and you can watch from there, or you can text 866-727-9323, or Atlanta to the 8-town stomp. You can go and text 404-418-5104. Again, the phone lines are monitored. I don't play any spamming or trolling. Do not call my lines and play on my phones. They are actually being recorded at all times. And I meant what I said. I'm all about the business, all right? And coming back with that in mind, I wanted to make sure the presentation was good to go for all of you guys. And as Shamash, a level of a mindfulness teacher, a person who was in the 80s, Shamash Al-Dalina, who was practicing mindfulness in 1998. He has went to school and he was invited to experiment with a short-term level of mindfulness exercise while studying abroad and the Eastern philosophy of mindfulness and being present. So I wanted to share that with you guys and the modalities and the backstory as to of mindfulness and being present. And he also studied in London for 8 years. Shouts out to the UK. And he initially taught in a children's school. And that was for 8 years, and meditation was in the curriculum. They found the children were de escalated and not in fight or flight mode. I want you guys to understand why this is important. I want you guys to understand what fight or flight does to the body. It affects your lungs, your kidneys, your liver, and your central nervous system. And if all of the fight or flight help us, fight or flight response makes us sick. It can literally make you mentally, emotionally, and physically sick. So I want you guys to understand how important it is to become better and greater and whatnot. I'll let you guys see it further. Part of this is allowing us to understand that as we go look at our brain is our full computer, right? When our brain is affected by a lot of toxic levels of what we call serotonin, dopamine being depleted, and then a level of your cortisol and other such bodily nutrients and things like that that create the hormones that regulate our body, our central nervous system, and things like that, or help us to fight off disease and other stuff. It is the fight or flight response that makes us sick because eventually your body gets taxed and it becomes fibromyalgia or other such things as threatening lupus or MS and whatnot. And once you find yourself going away from a level of stressfulness and going into mindfulness and being present, it helps us to repair the lungs, the kidneys, the liver, and other such organs that are vital for us to thrive and be alive and thrive. So with that being said, I want you guys to understand all of that as we get into the content. And I want you guys to learn how to be positive in your positive thoughts and modalities and why shouldn't let negativity overcome you. So let's get into the show, operate in a different manner, stick to the script, and let's just enjoy the channel, the webinar, the podcast, and more local and non-local presentations, event coverage on these social media streets. And let's just keep going in open dialogue for educational and growth purposes, coaching and daily illumination purposes for the soul, and general content creator purposes from your local YouTuber, Facebooker, Twitter, Instagram, Bigo, Clubhouse, with the power to do more with Talk Radio Diva in conjunction with Talk Radio Productions. I am your host, I am CICI. If you want to book interviews and requests for bookings, you can mail to info@talkradiodiva.com or go to www.talkradiodiva.com or book your coaching appointments at IMCC or imcccoaching.com, as well as Don Diva Coaching if you're not an IMer and things like that. And if you want to, as children, adolescent, and adult, get your parents' permission if you're under 18, and you can go to teamworld.online for children, adolescents, and adults. So again, namaste. If you're on the other side of the world, grand rising, and namaste to all. Good evening as well. I'm hoping that we can give ourselves time to process all of this and do the best that we can with what we can. And like I said, taking a break from social media did help me with that. And also the teachings from Shamash. Part of that is learning that even as life coaches and therapists, as well as clinicians and business organization managers and whatnot, and in the workplace for healthy stress reduction. I want you guys to understand that mindfulness is all over the world. A lot of people are getting into it, as well as yoga and other such things that help people to become de-stressed or in de-stress mode. And also a level of Middle Eastern philosophy along with the Western philosophy has begun to help people. So give me just one moment. I'm going to let you guys listen to some easy listening while I get things prepared. Very relaxing, isn't it? I figured that we would get into a place of understanding the two main passions that I have. Part of that is mindfulness, and then Advaita philosophy. It's a part of mindfulness and being present that helps us to learn all those modalities and also to personally be able to help everybody who is coming onto the lives, learning how to be mindful and present, even when you're dealing with saboteur provocateur agents, and also learning how to understand each other personally and professionally, and also be supportive in our modalities and growing. Part of that is incredible attention to detail and being mindful and being present of how we're growing, how we're learning, how we're transitioning. And honestly, I'm impressed with mindfulness and the paradigms of coaching. It helped me to become more settled, more focused, and do the best that I can. So I want to give a special thanks to everybody who supported me along the way in all of that and my growth and transition. And also, this was an excellent project to show you guys in real time how to do that. Also, I want to make sure that I thank anybody and everybody who's been there supporting me behind the scenes, who has helped me to become a greater, better person, and also a more focused person, and illuminating to my original self and transitioning back to one. And to my wonderful daughter for her encouragement, and also for my mother when I'm not driving her to filth and back. Sorry, mommy, but the one person that knows me best and has been my hardest teacher has told me what you don't mind don't matter. Don't focus on the hard things. Don't focus on your hardship, but transition and ascend. You're still a baby. You still have time. You have still time to grow and grow further and become greater and better. So thanks, mom. I wanted to make sure I took some that I've learned from my daughter, my mother, and also my sister. I've learned how to transition and transcend. So I want to make sure that music's there for you guys and to help you guys feel good. So I'm gonna let you guys listen to it further, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty, and I'll take care of you. It'll be short and sweet. I want you guys to understand sitting down to start a level of similarities is like the both of sitting down to a great meal. There's a warm sense felt as we sit and eat, as we anticipate our mind and our body spirit transcending back to life. And being present means experiencing presence. I learned curiosity of the mind. I learned there's an awareness in what the world is all about and the meaning of life, and also in this journey as I take it in. And as we're fully present, we begin to encounter a level of what was before us and what is past us and what we don't mind doesn't matter. As we become fully present, mindful, learning these techniques, we are presenting a plate of being present, illuminated, luminous, and evolving and transitioning. So as I think about all this, our lives are an open book. We are our mileage that varies with each person's experience, each person's narrative, each person's redemption, each person's level of narrative. So in of all that, I wanted you guys to listen to this. I want you guys to transcend. And I'm going to come back on the screen. We're going to go into a level of presentation and helping yourself to a greater level of abundance, unity, advancement, and making ourselves the best version of ourselves. Okay? So listen, transcend, and let's ascend. So, as I was telling you guys, we have to look at these moments to stop, look, and listen. We have to notice our experience actually as it is right now. And we have to look at our mind, body, and spirit and say, I am safe. I am capable. I am somebody. And of all of that, we have to look at the things that are not useful and what we don't mind is important. We have to see things as they are. We have to determine the degree of suffering that we're going to allow or not allow, the degree of boundaries that we put in place, and the degree of how crazy our life can be sometimes, right? But the biggest difference between sitting down and wallowing in self-pity is sitting down to like a fine meal, looking at our plate of mindfulness, being present, and looking at the menu, not the meal itself. And we look at what we deserve in life, and that is better, greater, peacefulness, safety, sovereignty, protection, acceptance, and honing in on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. All of the things that make us greater, better, and allow us to illuminate, elevate to Christos, illuminated one. So I'm hoping that we become simply more mindful, present, and positive in the power of positive thinking. Nothing else can truly do that but ourselves. And having a level of iniquity, kindness, and balance in every corner of our life, whether online, offline, social media, or in our environment. And in of our busy lives, we have to learn we're never too busy to come back to one. Okay? We have to look at ourselves and say, I am somebody. I am well. I am healing. I am overcoming. I can do this. I am going to do this. So this is you guys' invitation to approach this alongside my teachings every day. To learning to love after love. When love leaves us. That means loving the self. Becoming our illuminated, abundant self, our original, authentic self. And as we learn in our approach, in our existence, we learn to sit and feast on our life, or what is my so-called life. So I discovered things as a little girl about 7, 8 years old. I discovered an amazing fact of life. I'm actually alive. I'm on this planet. I'm a little girl, right? I learned that this universe is huge. It's not just me. I learned that everyone exists, and the universe can be amazing if we pull all of the positive things in the universe out instead of the negative. And I realized I'm in it too, for the long haul. I learned that my excitement as I saw adults mechanically go through life, or going to work or shopping or doing different things, or friends playing games, that everybody has a different version of life or their modalities or what makes them tick. I also learned that I was conscious in the incredible sense of existence happening, and that we can't all share the same narrative or story, but we can all share the same modalities of learning how to transition to I am, or growth model, or illuminated mindset. And everyone can't be going the wrong way. Sometimes we learn the wrong coping mechanisms. So that's what I mean by mechanical thinking. We operate on fight or flight mode, or we operate on a level of just survival mode. We don't need to just survive, we need to be alive and thriving. So I wanted to teach you how to discover and reignite your perception of the mystery called life, the mystery called the self, and also so you're not just existing. And to complete the levels of tasks I put upon each one of you to illuminate, become I am somebody, becoming more enthused as to who you are, who I am versus who I was, and saying who I am is the greater version of myself. So in of all that, I wanted you guys to get into a peaceful mode and mentally, emotionally feel good. So I hope that helped you guys start in a positive mode and in the power of positive thinking. And again, you may call live at 319-527-6060. And also log on to talkradiodiva.com. Leave comments and things like that, as long as it's not bot farm, troll farms. I'm experiencing that today, but I'm not worried about it. I'm just ignoring it, blocking it, and keeping it moving. So as we regulate and reignite our life and we strike that match of our life, we learn how to squelch the fires or squelch the levels of striking matches and wallowing in self-pity. I learned as we go along with our life, and we learn how to finish with flying colors and find a way. Finish him! That we learn how to say to ourselves, I can actually slide into life. I can get into this vehicle called life. I can go into a level of transition to become greater and tell myself I am capable. I am willing. So everyday life becomes a level of don't sweat the small stuff, becoming our natural level of positive self and the tendency to be physiological, philosophical, and philosophical in transition. It allows us to increase our general sense of well-being and a rich variety of a different way to think and also heal and transition. So as we learn these tools to practice level mindfulness on our own, even when we're offline, being able to do that in our environment, and also how to practice mindfulness and being present quickly, and also as a beginner in mindfulness and being present, each one of you guys, it will not be easy. It is not going to be something easy to overcome. It is not going to be something that you're going to like. And sometimes it's going to be, you're going to fail at it. Some days you're going to be great at it. And then some days you're going to be just like, what the full are you? And as we explain this in detail in our core mindfulness, we learn practicing approaches that have been tested many times, and also with doctors, therapists, psychiatrists, psychologists, and life coaches like myself. So I want you guys to understand, practice that approach. It's been tested, tried, and true. And even with people with trauma and PTSD like myself, who've had to deal with that and learning how to deal with going to someone to manage my life when it was out of control, when it was a level of chaos and disorder. I'm like, oh, Adrian! You know? So we have to learn how to laugh at that. I had to laugh at the pain. I had to laugh at the pain. And I said to myself, how long are you going to suffer, girl? You know? It's like, get your body up. There's, pick yourself up. Transition, transcend. So all of the things that I was just speaking on, I've done. I've chosen to explain in detail the core level philosophy so that you guys can learn that it's not easy. It does become obnoxious. It does become a level tedious sometimes. And sometimes it becomes a level layer of, what are we doing? I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. Some days I know what I'm doing. Some days it's just like, you know what? I don't even know why I'm doing this. But in all of that, it allows them to be more people, being more mindful. So the conventions that we're going to be using in these modalities and teachings are that we're going to highlight the words. We're going to learn how to begin to write things down. And as I told you guys, writing things down helps us to remember. I want you to get something from these wise words and to come into the level of taking that text that you write down and allowing yourself to transition and use that every day, even offline. And also to ignore any distractions or disturbances or chaos or saboteur or provocateur agents, and use these levels and modalities as you write them down and use them to your heart's intent. So again, heart. So I want to make sure we break into the foolish assumptions. And of all of that, I want the assumptions about who you are to be at the forefront of dropping that mode. I want you guys to understand that we have to be keen about learning mindfulness and being present. What works for you may not work for me. What may work for you may not work for others. So I want you guys to understand that everybody's transition and learning phase helps them as they learn their modalities, and being mindful and being present helps you become more aware. I want you guys to understand that we can have a good go at trying out the levels of various mindful exercises and techniques that I will teach you throughout the series. And also that if we're not going to judge before trying it, and then we're not going to judge each other if it doesn't work for you, it might work for me, or if it works not for me, but works for you. So let us not be afraid of little mindfulness meditation and getting into ascension and transitioning to a better, greater version, a more calmer, more poised, more graceful version, one that is more acceptable across the board. Okay? So in of all of that, I've not assumed too much, and I've not tried to take on more than I can handle. I want to make sure that you guys understood how important it is to continue to do the best we can, whether you're 18 to 88 years old, or if you've been blessed to live past 88, you learn how to grow past it and also ascend as the elderly. And as I want to transition in life and become a glam awesome day and become a greater leader, manager, I want to make sure that I'm practiced, poised, and doing the best I can, no matter what. And we're always going to have haters in our life. We're always going to have saboteur and provocateur, but you know you're doing something right when you have a bunch of people trolling you, right? So I learned that the best thing we can do is focus on the things that are important. So I want to organize the level of things into 5 parts. I want you guys to understand that each part covers a range of subject matter and techniques and formulas that help us in our success rituals and formulas, and containing all the information that you guys will need in transitioning. It is going to be a long series, but I think that series is going to be good for us, and it's going to be good for all of us to learn and also stick to the script. And that prescription in life is positivity, self-discipline, bulletproof motivation. So I was hoping that this presentation would be good for you guys, helpful to you guys, and help you guys in introducing mindfulness. And that's part 1. That allows you to begin to dive in and learn. It allows you to begin practicing mindfulness and techniques and whatnot, but you probably will need to pick up a few basics from here. And also for the basics around here that don't know how to do anything but be a basic, So in of all of that, I figured all the dust mites online will help themselves to a hearty level of sitting down, finding something safe to do, and also not becoming a level of modus operandi and saboteur provocateur. I'm inviting everybody to become more illuminated, abundant. I'm inviting all content creators to get to know me on the platform and also to get to know me as a professional and also as a life coach, wellness coach, divorce coach, and as a brand. And as I told you guys, I do a lot in my career and all of my tenure in administration, organizational management, business management, and it's also in human resources. And becoming a life coach was one of the best things I could have ever done. I enjoy it as a person and also as an autistic high-functioning mother and also as a momager and an entrepreneur. I had to learn to practice mindfulness and all of that, the obstacles that have come around, and also, a lot of the saboteur, provocateur, all those things that I don't want to think about. I want to keep myself in this space, in this mode. It makes me happy to be back in my happy place. And also being mindful and being present has helped me do that. So as we transition into parts 2, preparing the ground for mindful living, we'll go back into that a little later, and practicing part 3, practicing mindfulness and being present. Also part 4, which allows us reaping the rewards of mindfulness and practicing mindfulness meditation and also being present. And then part 5, the part of 10s, taking the 10 modes and modalities that help us to transition in doing this online, offline, and help us keep the peace. So I want to make sure that we have a go at different techniques and exercises in this, and also a level of giving you information that you need to know, and whatever else you carry away and take away with takeaways as we do our teaching and our presentations every day, or at least the days that decide to come on. We'll be switching between daily illuminations for the soul as well as levels of mindfulness and being present. I figured that would be good mashup so you guys don't get bored and be like, Bueller, you know, I want you guys to be happy and also get different content every day and be able to help you guys stay up and present and mindful. And again, like I said, it's going to be only about a 2-hour show. And when I invite you guys on for the first half or the second half, depending on how I want to run the show, you'll be able to come in, have conversation. We'll begin to continue to do presentations as is. Any students that come on here or get re-invited back on here, understand that I don't play with anybody about how I do my presentations. You guys know not to do interruptions or distraction techniques. If you do that, you will be dropped down and you'll be kicked out. What I said is all about being professional and having a level of positivity and modalities that help us to transition into greater levels of presentation, coaching, and professionalism, and sticking to the script. So last but not least, where do we go from here in this overview? I wanted to make sure that we can all dip in and out as we please. If you guys find something that you like and you want to attend or rewatch the replays and whatnot, that allows you to go back and pick out the content that helps you guys and helps you to write things down and learn from me, your life coach on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Be Your Love, Facebook, Meta, and allowing us to begin to look at things in a better mindset. Also, as we go into the levels of this course in the presentation, I want you guys to know that we're going to take a traditional and non-traditional approach. As you guys know, I'm always breaking the rules a bit. But I want to approach it in a level of non-traditional so that my students keep being engaged in the levels of learning. And part of that is not being boring, okay? So happy mindfulness, happy being present. And also, I want to make sure that you guys understand the transition to greater and being greater illuminated abundant self helps us to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some meditation to close out the show, and then we're done for today. So tomorrow, we're going to go into part 1, introducing mindfulness and being present. So I figured we'd stop there today and have a good level of introduction and allowing ourselves to understand what it is CICI does. All right? So let's get us into those affirmations and we'll go from there.
Finding a comfortable position, allowing these words of newness and clarity to resonate in your body and radiate out into your field. These affirmations, if used consistently, will change the frequency of your vibration and your subconscious programming, adjusting your point of attraction and transforming your life. Repeat these words after me, making them your own, as you drift through the different brainwave states, falling into a deep and revitalizing sleep. You can also listen to these affirmations during the day, allowing them to raise your vibration. Many blessings to you, my friends. I am new. In this moment, everything is new. I have new eyes to see my life, new feelings to experience the world. My life is new. Everything about this exact moment is fresh, clear, and new. I meet this moment new in being. I am in awe of this unique happening. Never again will this exact moment exist. It is a profound and miraculous adventure. I am new. All mind stuff is dropped. All thoughts are gone. And I experience this moment, present and aware. I can see so clearly now that which was hidden before. I see more beauty than ever before. I feel fresh and clean in this moment, like life has showered me in its loving liniment. Like all that which has gone before has nothing on what exists right now. I am new right now. There is no repeating this moment. This moment is special and unique. The only moment that really exists is this one right now. The past is gone. The future is not yet. Right now is all there really is. My heart is clean and clear right now. My mind is open and receptive. All thoughts fall to the ground. And only this moment exists. In every moment, I am new. I hear new things. I feel new things. I feel good. I live free from the past. I am free from my mind. I am free from the story. I am a being of spirit and soul, living joyously in a human body. My inner being is unencumbered. I am free. I am free to be me. I am free in this moment to express my soul's truth. I am free to live as this truth. The truth that life is a celebration of every human and spirit, that together, united and one, we can be a full expression of love. The love that exists as the universe feels so good. It feels like joyous ecstasy expressing. It feels like every cell, every skin pore, every part of the human body is now open to experience the joy of this moment. I relax into this moment, surrounded in the light of love, floating in the waves of ecstasy as the universe weaves her magic through my life. Each moment is ripe with divine presence. I can feel this immeasurable unity circulating in a divine spiral dance. I am one with this moment, integrated as spirit and body, melded in mind and soul, merged in presence and power, all synchronizing within.
Okay. So I figured we would have that ending to the show. I figured it would be good to really do this the way I've always wanted to do it. And part of this is making sure that you guys end on a positive note and transition into a good mode and a good feeling. And no matter what kind of saboteur, provocateur, or anything like that, it doesn't matter. What you don't like doesn't matter. And again, like I told you guys, I'll be taking YouTube report over the bot farm, troll farms that I need to get control of, and also the Russian troll farm. I've made it abundantly clear. I know who's doing all the bot farm, troll farms. I'll be asking for the warrant for the arrested John Yates and Monica Allison and Uzziah Allison, who have connections with YouTube and B. I'll be asking for a federal warrant for their arrest and for YouTube to have them terminate all of their contracts, including Latasha, who's behind that troll farm bot farm. I'll be asking for the warrant for her arrest for several incidences of distracting, disturbing, provoking, and gaslighting. I'll be asking for each one of my exes who actually have contracts with YouTube be terminated, walked out, fired, and arrested. I will be asking for content creators who are engaging in the bot farm, troll farm that John Yates control. I'll be asking for the warrant for each one of them. I'll be asking YouTube to terminate their accounts, including Latasha Kibi, who I grew up with, and I want the federal warrants for their arrest. They've been doing this all night. I'm not worried about it because I got my presentation done. We're on multiple platforms, so everybody sees what's going on. So the disturbance to my presentation wasn't going to happen. I wanted to make sure at the bottom of the show I addressed who's behind the bot farms, troll farms. I wanted YouTube's management to know who's behind the bot farm, troll farms. And I want the civil criminal litigation against each person. And then I want their platforms removed. I want the avatar removed. I want John Yates removed. He's racist and he's a nasty person, an emotionally violent, disgusting, despicable person who's done a lot. I've been in the bushes a couple of days, a couple of weeks, and I've watched it myself. At this point, I want the federal warrants for their arrest, all of them that are involved, including the content creators who continue to do their malicious misconduct and those that are controlling bot farms. Troll farms, Carlos Elliott will be getting a warrant for his arrest, as well as the other individuals who continue to flood my chat with it. They've done it to multiple content creators, and I'm addressing that I want that avatar off there. And Teddy Bundy is also the other one that's been doing that. That's Monica. She's hiding behind it. And I want the criminal warrants and lawsuits against her and everybody else who's helped her with her abuse on YouTube. I want her removed off of Facebook. I want her removed off of Clubhouse. I want Snippy Stackhouse removed. I want several individuals, including All About the Trees, and several other individuals who have been involved in all the provoking and gaslighting for the last 2 to 3 years. I'm not going to play with content creators because I had a meeting with YouTube behind the scenes. We've talked each one of the people who've done it, including content creators who insist on being obnoxious and nasty and playing games on social media. I wanted to say the best for last in a positive note because they did this on Facebook, they did this on Clubhouse, they did this on Twitter, they did this on Periscope, and Monica's behind all of those platforms, troll farms, and so is her husband, Carlos Ellie, and I want the federal indictments for her. I want her civil criminal suit. I want her son civil criminal suit because he's also been involved in platform troll farms alongside of several other people, including Tina Lawson, who have connections with YouTube. I want the management of YouTube to get off their butt and do something about the bot farms and the fake accounts and get rid of all of these people who've been doing this, remove their monetization, and remove content creators who supported their sell of incel, female, male incels, and those individuals who I've named over a period of time. You're not going to get clout off of me. I don't like mentioning your name, and you're not going to go around here making false copyright strikes, and you're not going to go around here doing all kind of making false reports on multiple platforms. You've been doing this for 10 years, and I will take you to court over every bit of it. I will have Johnny yanked off of there. I mean, what I say, I don't have it in for him, but he's Monica's minion. I made it clear that Monica is also from Pensacola, Florida, and also Atlanta, Georgia, and Virginia, and New York, places that I'm familiar with, and I've had enough of her obnoxious, provoking, and gaslighting. I made it clear that I will keep my foot on her neck if she doesn't quit. I made it clear that I will take your content in your channel and I will have it taken down. I made it clear with YouTube that you've been a problem. I made it clear behind the scenes that you've been a problem for 2 to 3 years. Your husband that sat there on Twitter and decided to continue to give you information about me so you could troll me, and y'all made those false reports on Twitter Periscope. You will be getting federal warrants for your arrest and also damages, and you will be paying the $500 per every presentation that y'all trolled me and your son trolled me. He will be getting a warrant for his arrest for pathological, tormenting, abusing, trolling, harassment. Your other son, Jeremy, will be getting a federal warrant for his arrest, and he will be getting a criminal restraining order and a do not contact order, and you all will be civilly criminally sued as a family. And since my ex said he wasn't going to stop trolling me, harassing me, I'm going to make sure that it's addressed at the end of the show instead of the beginning. Because y'all have tried everything to get me upset, and that's not going to happen. You will be civilly criminally sued, and so will social media, because they've been told to get control of these bot farms besides the Russian troll farm. So there's 2 different farms that are going on here. So Monica's not going to keep doing this, and John Yates is not going to keep on doing this, and the several content creators who played on Monica's behalf and played with me, or you played in my face or stole content, you will be getting a warrant for your arrest. Get my content off of your YouTube channel. Do not steal another thing. And then Roxanne, who was up there hacking my actual computer information system terminal, you will get a federal warrant for your arrest, and so will Crystal Nicole Johnson Martinez. And that's the same Nicole Martinez that doxed me on Twitter and also ended up being on Nosy Host Live. I'll be asking for a federal warrant for Carol Sullivan, Nosy Host Live, and I'll be asking for one for Ashley, her girlfriend who has IT background. I'm not putting up with y'all's obnoxious, provoking gaslight. Y'all want me to mention your names. I don't like none of you. I made it clear I'm not going to put up with any more of these fake, phony closet Christians who play in my face. And Evangelist Val, if you ever mention a 72-hour hold, you will be on one, your child will be taken from you for real. And any more of mentioning me on social media, each one of you will be kicked off of there. I'm not the one who made reports on each one of you, including Come Get This Commentary and also the Sweet Pea Diaries. I don't have a problem Come Get This Commentary, but what you're not going to do is sit in chats and play provoking gaslight, psyops, terrorist games. What Evangelist Val is not going to sit there and do is thump a Bible and whatnot, and act like a Christian. She did all kind of devilment and played all kind of nasty games at my expense. And so when y'all wanted to mention 72-hour holds, you all will be getting one if you don't quit playing with me on social media. I made it abundantly clear to content creators whose agenda was to try to get me kicked off of there. I'm not mentioning you for no other reason than fair use and also educational purposes about toxic, obnoxious content creators who kept this up. So the Sweet Pea Diaries, make sure you have all of my content off there. Armand Wiggins, don't you ever steal another piece of my content. And those that were distributing my content, Kim and Nikki will be getting federal warrants for their arrest. The registrar already threw them underneath the bus, and Andy, who's connected to that. Sherelle, if you ever say anything about me or my mothering, I will make sure that you understand how far you will be underneath a jail cell. So I think you need to stay in your own world and mind your business and don't mention my name or sit there and play in mock obnoxious games to get me to mention you. Each one of you clout chasing content creators need to understand that I'm embarrassing you once and for all. King Payne, if you talk about dusty houses and whatnot, either bring your dusty tail down here and clean my house or shut up. Other people who've been playing these nasty games, including Sean Davey Wade, and all of you who are playing with my daughter, all of you who were on the payroll of the Avatar and Funky Diney Ross, Quentin Latham, and the IT abuse that he did connected to that network. I made it abundantly clear how far it will go in civil litigation lawsuits for all the bullying, provoking gaslight the daytime crew did, including DJ Richie Sky and several other individuals, including the levels and layers of Meek at Night and several other individuals who thought it was funny, including Sky. All of you need to be shamed and also removed off of YouTube. I've already made it clear to YouTube that I want y'all gone anyway, because y'all have done this once many times, and I caught you red-handed and watched you do it while I was sitting in the bushes, watching y'all play these nasty, nasty games. So also the wealthy, well-connected, obnoxious billionaire and the almost billionaire who have y'all recruited to play these nasty games at my expense will be getting federal indictments and warrants for his arrest for all the obnoxious trolling and provoking and gaslighting. I wanted to show you guys that bot farm, troll farm, so you can see the difference. The Russian troll farm is different. It looks different. And you'll understand Russian. It looks different. It's got different shapes and whatnot. So I can recognize it and tell the difference. So that bot farm tonight is the same one that John Hughes and Monica control. They also work with YouTube, and I want YouTube to tear up their contracts and demonetize both of them and kick them off of there. What I'm not going to do is keep mentioning all this for 10, 12 years, an overlap for a lot of times that they did on the platforms. I'm already petitioning for a book and to remove Allison as well as Allison and all they have. Next came online, sat there and said he had a bunch of new accounts and he wasn't going to stop harassing me. I just made sure he did. Oh! Also, when I tell you that I will be suing my exes who all know each other, including Jason Ryan Grassley, I'll be asking for federal warrants for their arrest for all the bullying, provoking, and gaslighting, playing in my face and trolling me and harassing me for 2 or 3 years on Periscope, Twitter was enough. Also, the Facebook meta antics and whatnot for over 10 years, which landed me over to Twitter, and the same thing happened. And Monica has been doing this to everybody, including celebrities. I want the federal indictments for her, Andy, and everybody else who's involved in all the provoking and trolling. What you're not going to do is keep on trying to mess up my lives or cause me to get out of character or act out of character. Your efforts tonight were extra, but you failed. So the direct targeted troll farm, bot farms, I'm not putting up with. And like I said, I will sue the breaks off of YouTube. And the billionaire who's been involved, who knows my FedEx's wife, will be getting a federal warrant lawsuit if he keeps on recruiting other people to obnoxiously annoy me and to irritate me. I told you guys he's irrelevant and somebody I don't want to be around and somebody I do no longer respect. Also, the triangulation efforts to irritate and piss me off are only going to make me sue him even further and make sure he has no resources by the time I get through tearing him up in federal court, civil court, criminal court, county court, and criminal court. The sadistic, provoking, and gaslighting that they have done to me is to get past the point of amicable resolve. I will not work around somebody like that. I don't want to sit at the table with him. I don't like him, and I don't respect him any further. And I made it clear he's irrelevant. That's why his name is not coming up. And neither are the other people, other than fair use educational purposes, to let you guys know that I will sue the soul out of you and bankrupt each one of you and take your properties and collateral as in a level of financial restitution, which I'll continue to do. That I told you guys to quit. So hopefully this will be the last time I have to tell you guys to quit. Ow! So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the live presentation. I hope you guys enjoyed the levels of getting transitioned into Ascension and also learning how to deal with people and post-separation abuse. I've been dealing with this far too long. And yes, I will be civilly criminally suing Sean Woodfield if I find out he was involved in any of the provoked gaslight crimes aside from the other individuals who've been involved, including Mr. Graham and the other obnoxious billionaire, Duke of Narcula, who needs to find something safe to do. And that's not picking with me because I'll keep my foot on your nasty neck. I meant what I said because I'm sick of him. And I don't like him any further because he's trying to hit it with my FedEx's wife who sent someone down here provoking me and gaslighting me. Like I told you guys, I don't want to have to talk about that anymore. I told you they're all irrelevant. They annoy me, and they're the type of people who are saboteur, provocateur agents, and I want them removed out of my life by any means. And that includes if I have to sue YouTube to get them to stop. If I have to sue Facebook to get them to stop. If I have to sue Clubhouse to get them to stop. If I have to sue Twitch to get them to stop. If I have to sue every platform to get them to stop, that's what's going to happen. And there will be subsequent co-defendants in those court cases. Because when I tell you to quit, it means quit. Ow! So when it comes down to it, you're not going to keep on hitting me up on my social media, and you're not going to keep on stalking and harassing and the content creators that I was told behind the scenes that were involved in all these provoked gaslight and the bot farm troll farms. That's why I'm calling Monica and John out, because I do know them from Officer Barbara Yates, who will be getting a federal indictment for 13 years ago, anti-disciplinary and lying on police reports. I want the federal indictments for all parties in all matters who've been involved in all the provoked gaslight. And I invite all content creators to get to know me well and get to know me as an autistic, high-functioning person. You're not going to play with my deficits, and you're not going to goad me into arguments with you. If I don't know you and if I shouted you out, it's because of the things that I watched you do in real time. You were caught in real time playing PsyOps games, and the feds were listening to those lines, and they heard everything that you didn't do. So that's why I'm not afraid of calling you all out. I wasn't the one who got y'all moved off of there in the first place, but there are other people who are listening and they're watching this close. So karma isn't. And sometimes it can be beautiful, and sometimes it can be ugly. And I'd rather not be ugly. So y'all's ugly behavior, you sure you're ugly. behavior I'm not going to put up with. I decided that we're all going to laugh at each one of you and make fun of y'all, so y'all understand what it means that you no longer affect any of us who have been having to deal with y'all's obnoxious behavior. And so all the dusties and dust mites on there and all the basics need to learn how to grow up and be better than what they are, which is a basic miserable person and pick me bad tricks. Grow up, get your own content, stop stealing mine, and stop playing these nasty games. Roxanne will be getting a federal warrant for her arrest, and so will Crystal Nicole Martinez, who doxed me unlawfully, legally, and so will Tasha. I'll be asking YouTube to remove their channels and demonetize them because Ms. Martinez was actually on the payroll of Mr. Allison, who also has connections, and that's where that came from. So my house is wired unlawfully, legally. It was done while I was gone, and also the feds have been tapping into that, and they've also been listening to everything. And at this point in time, I'm making sure they got my 6 salute. And hopefully they'll understand that I'm not playing with these nasty, narcissistic souls who've been sitting on platforms playing nasty games at my expense. I told you I don't like you anyway, and I don't respect you. You gave me nothing to respect. But on a positive note, I'm teaching you what respect means, or I'm going to keep my foot square on y'all's neck every time y'all do this. So let it be a forewarning that I'm not going to put up with that kind of stuff, target anybody else but me, because I'm not going to put up with it. If I have to sue YouTube to get them to get this to stop, then any that John Yates and Miss Allison will be indicted, and they'll be getting federal warrants for trolling and harassment and direct, targeted, deliberate, provoking. Mr. Ellie will be fired from the DEA, and then he will be getting a civil criminal warrant for his arrest. Mr. Allison is already retired from the DEA and will be getting indictments in Pensacola, Florida. And I'm going to say, and Jeremy Allison, Chris Young's baby daddy, Southside, will be getting federal indictments for provoking, gaslighting, and trolling as well, on behalf of his nasty brother, Jonathan, aka Kenny. And I want the federal indictments down ASAP. So now you guys understand the registrar has already confirmed this, and also the cable companies, as well as the telecom companies, and all of the messing with my passwords that they have done. Enough is enough. You've been warned multiple times. You're not going to drive me off of social media. And Monica's suggestion, maybe you should get off of social media. Maybe you should stop being a bully and a pick-me. And maybe you should get off of social media harassing other content creators, because I've already observed it and seen it. And so while you're around here talking about twins, I am a twin. Our birthdays were changed, and you need to find you something safe to do. We're fraternal twins. So it's East 99 Eternal. Has anybody got any questions so far? Find you somebody else to play with, lady, because I don't like you and you know it. I told you I'm going to keep my foot square planted on your neck until you understand what it means not to keep on recruiting other people to do your dirty work or hiding behind avatars or crazy loony teddy bears, Teddy Bundy. So I want everybody to know who is actually behind that Teddy Bundy, and I want you guys to know exactly who's all been playing these nasty games. I want you guys to understand that some of these content creators' objective is to get other people's following and subscribers, and they're desperate. So at this point, I'm bursting their bubble.
Ow!
So I want to make sure that I'm the thorn in their side that they can't get out the rear end, because they have been a pain in my rear end. Okay? So that's it. We're going to go out with music, and you guys have a great day and a great evening. Salute to everybody. I want to make sure to each content creator invite you to be friendly and not be evasive or distant. I enjoy you guys, each who have talents. I've watched some of you guys that learned from some of you. So each one of you content creators like DIVA, keep it well. To Danny Robinson, I want you to be well. You're really funny. To some of the other people who are content creators as well, continue to flourish, be alive and thriving. To her name is Miss Oldham. She's really cool. I like Miss Loretta. Shouts out to you. You have a funny channel. I've been in the bushes watching some of you guys, and some of you guys are hilarious. Sean Davy Wayne, I want you to transition to be better and do better. I know what the situation is with you, and part of that is I give you guys grace. You may want you to do great, and I give you guys grace to turn things around and do the best that you can. But keep your money out and don't hurt my daughter. That's what you guys do. Those of you who are engaged in bullying or toxic, you guys grace to turn this around. We're all going to be positive on here. We're going to come together, and hopefully I'll get to know some of you guys. So I've been a bush baby for about 2 to 3 years. I've watched this all the time, so I'm aware of it, sort of agencies, but I'm not part of the feds. I don't work for them. I'm not the whole objective is to make money and also do our interviews and have a good level of platform. If you guys are looking for content, just ask me. I'll help you. It's going to cost you, but you guys know it's worth it. And again, I'll show you guys a little bit of the content that I do create in the end of this, and then I'm out. So a quick level of sharing these things for you guys. It won't take very long, so I want you guys to see everything. Thumbnails like that, all the little things like this, all those things that help you guys. Even for Emmys and Emmys who need any type of content, we do all kinds of different things. I want to show you specialty niche and whatnot. Doing even product service spot shots and things like that. And last but not least, one more thing. All of my things on Fiverr, you can book those appointments and whatnot. So that is it for today. You guys have a nice day, and I'm going to go ahead and leave. You guys continue to with the power to do more with Talk Radio Productions, with Talk Radio Diva. I am your host. I am CICI. You may call in 866-727-9323. Book interviews and requests and bookings at talkradiodiva.com or mail to info@talkradiodiva.com. Okay? So you guys take care and have a nice day, all right? And enter the I am hashtag giveaway. And also we take donations as well for the building of the business and also to rebuild everything and transition to be greater coaches and presenters. So Don Diva Coaching Team World Online, I am CC Coaching, Talk Radio Diva, or Venmo preferred I am CC, or you can tip me on Twitter. So thank you so much for attending. Take care.